the Madman. We got a nice quick one here for you today, as 2 legendary Titans have gotten revealed. Probably the easiest cards to just rate 5 stars. Asterisk, similar to how Colossals are played in pretty much every single deck, Titans will probably be played in pretty much every single deck unless, you know, it's specifically the deck archetype doesn't support the Titan, or unless the class is super unpopular. Aman'Thul, Priest Titan, 7 mana 3/10. After this uses an ability, discover any legendary minion. Its abilities are either Shape the Stars in order to summon a copy of a 9 Titan minion with +2/+2, so Faceless Manipulator with +2/+2. Strike from History, where you choose 2 enemy minions and remove them from the game, so that's Life Sentence except 4/2. And Vision of Heroes. Summon a random 6-cost minion, give it Taunt and Lifesteal. This reminds me a lot of the old Paladin card, a new challenger. So going through the numbers here, the Faceless with +2/+2, you could argue that's worth like 5 mana, right? Because Faceless Manipulator was 5 mana, and you get the +2/+2 on it. Yes, Faceless Manipulator isn't necessarily that good, but 5 mana type ability, sure. Strike from History, Life Sentences were 4 mana. This is 2 Life Sentences. You could certainly argue that's worth 5 mana. And then Vision of Heroes, a new challenger was costed at 6, but that was probably too much. This is like somewhere between 4 and 5 mana, surely. But anyways, when Aman'Thul uses an ability, you also get a legendary minion with it. Any legendary minion means that you can get some class legendaries, and class legendaries have gotten quite a lot better, which is a good segue back to the original. Titans cannot be randomly generated by Discover or by other, generation means. So if we establish that using the relevant ability of Aman'Thul is worth 6 mana, considering that the ability is worth like 5 mana, adding a Discover a new legendary is worth like +1 mana. 6 of the mana goes towards the ability, and then for 1 more mana you get a 3/10, plus the very distinct risk that if Aman'Thul lives, you're going to get another 5 mana worth of value the next turn because you'll use another ability. So that is incredible value. Aman'Thul, easy addition to any control priest or even mid-range priest. Some chance that it does not fit into a very aggressive deck, such as Undead Priest. And it is worth mentioning that this is a pretty tough card to remove. So one of the more likely subjects to actually get a second ability off, especially when Aman'Thul comes into play, you can strike from history 2 enemy minions, and then that will often lead to a board where your opponent does not have 10 worth of attack. So they can't just, attack Aman'Thul. We also see the Hunter Titan, Agrimar the Avenger. 6 mana, 3/7, Battlecry, equip a 3/3 Tayshalak. Agrimar can either maintain order, give your weapon after your hero attacks, draw a card. Commanding Presence, give your weapon after your hero attacks, summon a 3/3 Enforcer with Taunt. Or Swift Slash, give your weapon +2 attack and your hero is immune while attacking. One of the fun things that I was pointed out on is way back in the day, there was a card called Gladiator's Longbow. Agrimar will get you a 5/3 weapon with your hero is immune while attacking. That certainly looks quite a lot better than Gladiator's Longbow. And Agrimar only costs 6 mana, and it comes with the 3/7 body. It comes with the ability to give the other abilities onto that. And yes, Titans can't attack until they've used all their abilities, as a general reminder. So the body doesn't matter as much, quote unquote. And notably for Agrimar, the abilities aren't as impactful as the other Titans so far. But that's because it front loads so much. It's all about the weapon. And the idea is the weapon itself, no matter which one you choose, is nearly worth the amount of mana. Like 6 mana for a 5/3 immune while attacking. If they printed that card, you would probably think, oh, okay, that's pretty fun. That's a good card for mid-range hunter, aggro hunter, 15 damage over 3 turns. But it's more than just that. You get your 3/7 and your ability to also, after you choose Swift Slash as your first option, you can then, on the following turn, say, oh, I want 2 more cards by maintaining order, or oh, I want 2 more 3/3s with commanding presence. Worth mentioning, if you actually think the opponent might not be able to remove Agromar, commanding presence is often the best first choice, because then you get more bodies in the way with taunt. One of the interesting counters to Agromar is your opponent might run weapon removal. They destroy your weapon, and then the abilities of Agromar suddenly don't look very scary, but hunters do run multiple good weapons. It may not be as exciting of a proposition as the other Titans, but very solid mid-range or top end, or like even for face hunter. Like, you just run this, you run Swift Slash, you hit him for 15 over 3 turns. I think Agromar will totally still go into all the hunter decks, with the only exception being, like, if hunter had too many good weapons, you could see an argument about like, oh, well, running too many weapons in the deck can't run Agromar. I don't believe that's currently the case. So in short, I'm making the argument that if you only get one ability off, Agromar is still worth it. And Agromar is notably one of the Titans where using the second ability is not as devastating as the other Titans when they use their second ability, because again, a lot of the value got front loaded with the battle cry of equip a 3/3 Tasha Lock. In some way, it represents the hunter spirit of front loading the value. So this is one Titan that you could afford not to remove immediately.